Alright, I've seen a couple videos, guy named Bill out there. I'll put a link to his YouTube stuff. Been talking about some of these fence post stoves that I've made, and he's done a good job of demonstrating, and actually he's found a way to put a cap on top of them, which is a really neat idea, and I'm really impressed with that. He has 3 sizes. I think I've only ever done 2 sizes. I just happen to have 2 of one size. So, but really neat idea that he's got going on. But I did want to show something like this. I had this one I took on a camping trip about, I don't know, month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and I had this, once I'm done, I take this out of here and I put it down inside there, and I take a Play-Doh lid from the small Play-Doh can, and it fits right on top of this medium-sized thing, and I had put that in a Heineken can, and just threw it down there without any fluid in the lid in here, and I didn't deal my fluid back into my canister. Well, I went ahead and opened it up today to do a demonstration with this, and I pulled the lid off, and when I pulled the lid off, I went to pull this out, and I was like, holy cow, that is soaking wet still. None of the alcohol had evaporated. I mean, look at this. There is still fluid inside this thing. Lots of it. And I put it away wet, and thought to myself, well, that's going to all evaporate anyway, so I should probably burn it off. But then I thought to myself, well, I should try and see how much actually it stays in there with my lid that I have on there. And the lid was even a little damp when I opened it up. But a month, inside this container with that lid on it, obviously the hose was loose, so there was a small place for evaporation through the hose, but not enough. And it was inside of a Heineken with a tennis ball lid on top of that. That all was inside there, sealed up, and this was still had that much fluid in there. And just so you can see, I mean, that's a lot of fluid. Still burning good. But I wanted to show Bill, I think his name is actually Bill, it's his YouTube name, that by leaving this open like this and not filling it all in, you create a much larger flame off of a much smaller container. So this is my medium-sized one, and this is my small one. And what I tend to do is I tend to leave the centerpiece open, and that lets the fluid flow a little easier. And with this one, I think I've showed this, you can actually see the fluid shoots right across there. And that open center doesn't hurt anything, because you're just going to, I'm turning some lights off real quick so you can see this a little better. You're just going to get, the inside's going to get all taken over by the flames from the outside are going to take all the oxygen. So you really only need that outside, and with like this, it has a much better chance of wicking all that up. Now that's if you want a bigger flame. And he has some that go down inside the center that are up higher. Well, that's an ingenious idea too. That comes from the mushroom design that we have done in the past. I think Tenny originated that design with the mushroom where there's a little piece sticking up. That's more surface area. Whenever there's more surface area on the carbon felt, the more surface area there is that's exposed to air, the bigger the flame is going to be, the more you're going to be able to put these out. So this is burning a little yellow though. I noticed that, which that could be because the fuel is in there is quite old, and when the fuel gets older, it does tend to. And this is not actually heat; it's very similar, and it doesn't put off a whole lot of fumes. I don't smell anything burning. But anyways, I want to show you that. Another thing I like is with these, you always need a pot stand. I know this is similar to the hiker stove that uses a pot stand base, which is awesome. I may have to either invent one of those myself or buy one from Smoke Eater 908. He has a base that goes underneath of his hiker stove, which is where this idea originally came from. This is very much like his hiker stove, but his is all tooled out and everything. It fits right into the base. It has the 3-pronged base on it that allows a beer can to sit on it, or a regular, pot such as this. So with this, you always have to carry an additional pot stand. And I really like the idea of a small pot stand like this. For the Heineken can, it's perfect because it fits right inside there. For any beer can, it sits right inside there. It gives a perfect indentation for the bottom of your can there. And with a bigger pot, it works really well too, because it's not too awful small that you can't put, I gotta get my cozy off, you can't put a big size pot on it and get a good balance off it. There's gonna be some water in there, and even still, it's got some pretty good balance to it, so it's not a big worry. Steaming up my pot. Another thing is that the small thing like that, allows you to do like a little skillet on top of there, cook up some egg or something in your skillet there. They're really small, 1 egg wonder type skillet. I've got my 1 egg wonder lid from Mini Bull Design. He makes these, so they fit right on there. It's nice. But that's how I tend to use mine. I tend to use them open like that. Now, he had mentioned that I mentioned that the more surface space you have, the better you're gonna, the bigger your flame's gonna be. If you're looking for a big fire, just take your felt out, flip it around, and make some bunny ears. You would be surprised at how big of a fire you'll get off these bunny ears versus not having the bunny ears. This is a hard one to put out because there's so much, when there's no, shouldn't grab it, it's hot. When there's no filling on the side of there, you blow in all the air kind of gaps down in there. So let me show you with these bunny ears what happens here when you put fluid in here, and you have that. You create a wicking effect. Ooh, that's a lot of people. Not planning on doing that much show off, but let me. So the first thing is you want to get them damp, and then obviously once they're damp, you want to wring them out just a little bit because they're going to hang over the edge. I always put down some type of felt underneath if I have fuel that can hang over the edge like this. This is not an auto fuel stove or a refuelable stove like this one is, so it will only run until it's out. But let me go ahead and show you what that looks like now with the bunny ears sticking out. You've created a much larger burn area. It will burn off your fuel a lot faster with this method, but if you're looking to get something boiling fast and you're just in a hurry to get it done, that is one method. Now, it does require a bigger pot stand like this. But that bunny ear effect is an awesome way to get a hotter flame that can boil something a lot faster. You're going to have a heck of a time blowing that out, though, because there's a lot of air surface. So you not only have all the top surface, you actually have all those underside surfaces putting out heat, too. Although all the flame's rolling around to the top, this is wicking as much as this is wicking from inside there. And this will run out of fuel really fast with that bunny ear effect. But you can get multiple size stoves by just having your felt hang over the edge or stick up like a donut like we did in this one here. You know, the more surface area there is, the more there's going to be flame. Even with these donut stoves, if you leave a little hanging over the edge, I'm not sure if I'm in the picture here, yeah I am. Even with those donut stoves, the little bit that hangs over the edge here, it burns all the way around. So this one has 2 donut layers on it, creating a much wider base there for it to burn on. So just playing with the way you configure your carbon felt, and I want to shout out here to, I think Kenny from Mini Bull Design is the first one I've ever seen use the carbon felt in his stoves, and he uses it in all his stoves now. It is a wondrous, wondrous thing. And if you're still buying your carbon felt from Home Depot or Lowe's or your hardware store for $15 for a square foot, stop. Look at my carbon felt video. You can get a 3-foot by 3-foot square for $22. I mean, you're saving a lot of money. If you're making stoves like I do, goofing around, you got a bunch of them, that's the way to go. It's a lot cheaper. It's a huge, you're getting 9 times as much and only paying twice as much. And that includes shipping. So about $22 for a 9 square feet of carbon felt versus 1 square feet. Check out that video. It's further back in my group. Just look for carbon felt and Digitizer 101. You'll find it. Alright, just wanted to show a few more things I'm working on with my stoves. I am going to try and do a few more things here. Play with lids for these. It keeps the fuel when you're not using it. See what you can come up with. Take it easy, guys.